Okay, guys, good morning. Good morning and happy Sunday, everybody. This is the Cult of Calcio Bar Sport, third installment of our weekly appointment where we try to bring you the best of Italian and international football. And I have to say, I'm pretty excited today, guys, because we have like the original trio who founded the Cult of Calcio
Yeah.
3 years and a half ago.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Yeah. I
It's
forgot about that.
really, it's really an emotional moment, let's say.
Indeed.
Yeah.
For many reasons,
Yeah.
I think this is going to be an emotional episode of our bar sport. So as you see, we got Matteo, myself, AC Milan supporter. We got Diego live from Amsterdam.
Hi guys.
Hi, Diego. And then we got Paolo. Paolo, where are you based today?
I'm in Teramo today. I'm here because everything is closed up in Italy, as you know, for the pandemic, and I'm working from home, even if I usually am based in Bologna.
Got it. Yeah. Well, guys, so it's going to be an interesting episode today, as we mentioned. We could be talking about, of course, the Serie A football, what's going on in the match day, but we all know that the week of football has been shocked by devastating news, I would say, the passing of Diego Maradona, the greatest of all, right? I think we can arguably say that without any possible shadow of doubt.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's been a great loss. It's been for everyone who loves football or soccer, for our friends across the ocean. We lost an icon. We lost a symbol of, let's say, the beautiful way of playing football, but also something more than that. That's not only related to football.
Yeah. I think it's like we lost football itself, football at its beautiest, in its purest form, in its most funny form, most iconic form. And Diego, I know this week must have been very, very challenging for you, I would say. I mean, look at your background. You have sort of a temple to Maradona there.
Well, yeah, I have this. Yes, indeed. It's kind of temple. I have like this magazine. It's a magazine from 1985. And Maradona is still not a Napoli player. So when this was published, this is the second edition of that magazine. And yeah, there are all the pictures of Maradona playing for Boca Juniors, Argentina Juniors, and Barcelona. And yeah, it's basically the history through pictures of a soon, champion, a soon star, a soon legend. It's done by Italo Cucci. So it's really Italo Cucci is an important journalist. You know, at that time, it's coming to be a big name. Also, Italo Cucci. And yeah, then I have this T-shirt, which is really interesting because I found this T-shirt here in Amsterdam, actually, where I'm based, and I bought it after 2 days of my Erasmus in 2008. And since then, I never wore this T-shirt because it's like a 3 sizes smaller than my belly. It's really small, but when I saw it and I saw Maradona, you know, like a praying, like in this figure, I'm like, this must be mine. And so I bought it. So I have it since then. The color is green, which is the color of hope.
Yeah.
It's not black and white, luckily. Sorry, Paolo. But yeah, it's. I found it. Is wearing the Argentina shirt of 1990 World Cup, Italy World Cup, and yeah. Maradona
Actually, this thing that defines the extent of his legacy. Like, if you can find it in a flea market like the one in Amsterdam.
In Amsterdam, Waterplay, yeah.
Yeah, that makes really clear of how culturally deep he went with his legacy. Like, I think that everywhere in the world, if you say Maradona, everybody knows what he represents.
Yeah. It's a big language. Yeah, it's a big legend. He became I mean, it's the legend is the person of the folks. You know, it's for the people. It's the difference between many football players today's and in the past. Maradona is that you know, playing since the beginning. He had the chance to go to River Plate for a really nice millionaire back in the time contract, and he's still going for the poorest team, which is Boca Juniors. He's always speaking, you know, the side of the folks, of the people, and the same when it comes to Spain, Barcelona. The Barcelona back in the time is not the Barcelona we know today, and he's still going for Barcelona. And then, yeah, after Barcelona, I'm sure he had the chance to go anywhere in Europe. Lately, was reading. I don't even know if it's true, but I was reading that the PSV tried to sign him. I don't know, but then yeah, he went to Napoli, and you go to the poorest city, probably one of the poorest city in Europe, not even in Italy. There is nothing in Napoli. There is no infrastructure. So, you know, when we talk about football, of course, I mean, there is nothing in Napoli. Napoli is a really small team, a weak team. The season before Maradona came, we were fighting for not relegating, and then you get you know, the champion. You get Maradona, the most important player back in the time in Napoli. And then he's just like I remember the first game he played is against Verona, which I'm actually from Verona. I was raised and born in Verona. My family is from Napoli, so this is a memory for me because I'm 2 years old back in the time, and this is a memory that I have from, you know, my father, mom, and people telling me. But what I remember is that there is this interview post match. Napoli lost 3-0, 3-1, and
2-1. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember
that's the
that.
year Hellas Verona won the first Scudetto. Well, and the only one they won. But it's nice that there is a lot of racism. There is a lot of people talking bad about Napoli in that way, and Maradona is basically saying, "No, I don't understand what's going on here, why they are talking bad like this." And he realized since then that Italy was against Napoli. Napoli was treated badly everywhere, any stadium, and yeah, he got basically Napoli on his shoulders, like, we're gonna win, and then he did. Well, the story, everyone knows the story.
And to
Indeed.
highlight the point that you said about the fact that he was going always for the poor, there is a nice anecdote to mention when he arrived. The first he arrived in Napoli, when he was expecting to be given like a Ferrari or like to be given a villa.
Fiat.
And yes, and then they gave him a Fiat. But actually, nevertheless, he was not like playing with that in mind. He was playing with having fun. He was playing with taking, as you said, on his own shoulder the representation of the people that were coming from lower part of lower classes. Let's say, allow me to say.
Yeah, indeed.
And yeah, he did it in a really legendary way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what's really striking about Maradona, to be honest, is that the link, the link that he had with the city of Napoli was so strong that I have never seen anything like that in any football team with any football player. I mean, if you take the global stars like you know, Messi today or Cristiano Ronaldo, they're global. They have a global presence because they belong in a way to everybody. Of course, they're mostly linked to their clubs, but they're known and cherished everywhere. With Maradona, he was also a global star, but he was mostly the hero of Napoli. He was the hero of a whole city, and I have not seen
Yeah.
that anywhere else. Perhaps with Totti in Roma to a different degree. That's the only.
I was about to mention the same.
Yeah.
I was about to mention the same, but if you see the extent of the two things, first of all, globally, when you compare what Totti is globally and what now Maradona is globally, Maradona, like, it's overwhelming with respect to Totti. And I think that even if there is like a really string link between Rome and Totti itself, I mean, it's not that religious as it was
Mhm.
for Maradona. Maradona, if you go to Napoli, you still feel that. You still hear people talking about that. Totti, yes, it's something that can be somehow compared, but the extent it's completely, let's say, different, and the gap it's pretty huge, I would say.
Yeah, it's sort of a veneration, right? I think you use the right word
Yeah,
in a way. Religion. There is a sort of a cult for
yeah,
Maradona in Naples, Diego, right?
Yeah, also in Argentina. There's an actual church. There are followers, Maradona followers. In Argentina, it's really interesting. There is, you can search for it and you can find like some actually baptism or like weddings, into the beach with you have the priest and everything, and they have like some sort of religious chant. Like where they basically, they pray. They have like these praise for Maradona, and the crazy part is that this is something that was founded when Maradona was, of course, live still many years ago. So yeah, there is a religion after Maradona, and in his honor, which I think is kind of crazy if you ask me. But at the same time, we are talking about a human being, or which was born in the mud. Basically, he was born in favelas. He was born in a situation that we cannot even imagine. I think it's impossible. You don't have water, you don't have electricity, you don't have anything, and when you are 8, 9, you're like basically using glow, because you're sniffing glow because you have nothing to eat, and whatever you do, you're just thinking about playing football. um, so in this case, I think it's crazy. I have no idea if there are, and I think there are players nowadays that they come from really poor side. I can imagine like Osimhen in Napoli nowadays. We know that was born in a really difficult era in Nigeria. But still, what Maradona is doing, and exactly what Paulo was saying about the car, Maradona is not looking for becoming rich. He doesn't want to become rich. He's saying many times his own desire, stronger desire was, I need to buy the house to my mom and to my dad
yeah,
because they cannot live like that. And he's always putting, the need of the family in front of his own needs. Then we know Maradona did many mistakes, but I don't really care, and I have no idea why there are people nowadays talking about the mistakes he made. uh, because dude, that guy went to television and he said I was used to use drugs. So tell me, we know so many people, famous people, and not only famous, that they are using drugs, and they never say that. They don't go on national television, international television, say, drugs was like a Pac-Man for my family, eats my family, all this kind of thing. You don't find these kind of people. So I mean, it's tough to talk about Maradona when it comes to these kind of things because in Napoli we are used to go to everywhere around the globe, and they're just telling us a lot of times Napoli criminality, organized crime, Napoli mafia in Italy. It's better than I do. There is a lot of bad words against Napoli. And this guy, he's just like you talk bad about me and get the tunnel, get the dribbling, get the crazy goal against Acconi with Juventus,
yeah.
and that's the volley against Verona, and then against Brescia. So he was always answering that way, defending Napoli, and he made Napoli proud. He made Napoli proud.
He
He
actually
was
was
like,
more answering on the pitch than answering outside of the pitch, let's say. And that was something that who loves this sport should really appreciate. And I think they really appreciate, because all the criticism that was going towards Maradona for everything that he did outside the stadium, they were trying to influence, I think, his own performance. And bad news for them. They never managed to do that. And despite all the troubles he was going through, he always found a way to make it clear who was the best on the pitch. And that I think that's what a sportsman should do, and what a sportsman should appreciate as well when you get something like that.
Yeah.
I agree.
It was like redemption time for a whole city, like a city that was used to be known in Italy and internationally for, as you guys mentioned, a lot of bad things. Finally was being known for sports, for being the strongest team in Italy and at some point in Europe. Because let's not forget that Maradona, yes, he led Napoli to win 2 Scudetto, which was a remarkable achievement, of course, but also a UEFA Cup back in the days when the UEFA Cup was probably the toughest tournament to win in Europe. It was tougher than the Champions League. You got the best teams in Europe, 3 or 4 teams from Germany, from France, from Spain, from the UK. Well, not the UK in the days, but from Italy as well. And they were all competing in the same tournament. So that was much tougher than winning a Champions League back in the days. And Napoli did that thanks to Maradona.
Yeah.
That
And the
season,
quality of the tournament was way better than the Europa League that we have today.
Yeah.
Like when you say tough, it's tougher both from the point of view of the teams that you were going against, but also tougher because the teams that were providing a lot of quality, there were teams from the Eastern Europe as well that were way better than today. And yeah, so basically, I mean, I think that the quest there was, I'll say, twice the amount of what would be winning today.
Yeah, well, that season when we won the UEFA Cup, we actually won against Juventus. So I go by memory now, and I think like on the first round, Juventus won something like 2-0, but then on the round back, we won 3-0 against Juventus. Then there is Bayern Munich.
Not to forget.
And I can't forget.
Me neither.
I can't forget. And there is another game that I'll tell you later. That is actually the game I saw when I saw for my first time Maradona playing football. And then there is like Bayern Munich and then Stuttgart. The Stuttgart, I remember they had incredible players. They have Klinsmann. Then I think they also had Katanec that then went to Sampdoria. So they had a really good side as well. And then there is like this Napolitan guy playing for Stuttgart, which is Gaudino. And then it's famous for Ciro Ferrara was a really nice night. He scored a goal with a crazy cross by Maradona with his head, and then history.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's rewind a little bit because this is very interesting. That season, I think I also remember it was 1988, 1989.
I think so, yeah.
Napoli win the UEFA Cup. They face Juventus in the quarterfinals. I do remember that also. Juventus won 2-0 in the first leg. And then Napoli pulled out a comeback. I think they scored the third goal during extra time.
Yeah, I think there was something like extra time, so penalties, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think it was the extra times, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let me check.
Exactly.
I'm gonna check, guys. I'm really curious to see. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And that was the extra time today, you know, like there was no golden goal or stuff. It was like the 15.
No, back in the days.
30 minutes played. Yeah. I think it was that.
Yeah.
And then the semifinal against Bayern Munich. That's when, you know, the famous video that I'm sure everybody has watched at least once in their life of Maradona's warm up before the game. Yeah. With Life is Live of Opus in the background playing. That's when the famous video of Maradona pulling together those crazy flicks was shot. It was before the semifinal against Bayern Munich. I
dare everyone in Italy to say that they know that song for something different for that video. Like that's how I came to learn about that song.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So yeah. I just want to correct myself because Klinsmann is not playing for Stuttgart, but yes, Katanec was playing for Stuttgart,
Katanec,
and also Maurizio Gaudino, which is this guy from
Maurizio
Napoli.
Gaudino. That's interesting. Yeah, he was like, no, he was born in Germany, but from a Neapolitan family.
Yes, I think so. Yes, it's pretty similar to Diego Demme nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
Which is actually named after Maradona, and he's yeah, from Ercolano. His family is from. Uh, uh, uh. But
Got it.
I'm trying to see where Klinsmann was playing, because I remember Jürgen Klinsmann playing against Napoli during this UEFA Cup.
Wasn't he playing for Bayern, maybe?
Bayern, maybe, yeah.
Munich?
No, I'm 100% sure. I don't
So
know why I have this memory that he was playing for Stuttgart. I'm almost sure. I need to figure out why I was remembered this.
By the way, while you are looking for that, I want to share an anecdote of related to Maradona, even if I was a bit too young to remember. But I do remember that I spent my whole childhood trying to replicate the free kick that he scored against against Juventus, like the one that Diego was mentioning before against Tacconi. And that several newspapers online and offline try to remember and mentioned it during these days, and we saw that goal like in TVs, like replaying for days, not only back then in time, but also these last days. And I really tried to emulate the guy in every possible way. Never tried, never succeeded. Yeah, but even if I was getting close to that, I was like super happy, because to me that's even more than the goal against England in the World Cup. I think that goal is defining Maradona. It's like David against Goliath, huh? And that's the definition of his career in terms of football, as Diego was mentioning before. And I think that that's like the seal on that definition.
That's true. Yeah, yeah. It says all about Maradona. I think there's a story, maybe it's apocryphal, about what went on before that free kick. But apparently, Maradona was having a conversation with his teammate. I think it was Salvatore Bagni.
It was a guy with the E. I don't remember the name. Diego can help with it.
Yeah, maybe. But the story goes that, you know, the Juventus wall, Tacconi was setting the wall. Tacconi was the goalkeeper of Juventus back in the days. And he was trying to set the wall very close to the spot. And both Maradona and Bagni were trying to urge the referee to make them step back, but the wall didn't move. So at the end of the day, Maradona said to Bagni, okay, you know what? Just touch the ball for me and I'll shoot. And Bagni say, well, you can shoot from there. Can't you see how close the wall is? And Maradona said, I don't care. Just touch the ball for me and I'll score.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. That's what he did.
And actually, if you see the action, not only the wall was like instead of 9 meters was like maybe 7 or 6 meters far from the ball, but then Cabrini and someone else that I don't recall exactly, they were like running against the ball. So maybe they were even closer to the ball than it was the wall. So it was even, that's like I would say something to make it more difficult to shoot directly in that way, like with that trajectory. Again, I tried in every possible way to emulate that, but then I started playing volleyball. That's why.
Okay, that's the reason.
That's the reason why.
So let me tell. So Klinsmann, yes, he's playing for Stuttgart in the final. He didn't play the first round, but he played the second round, and that's why. Because I can't forget Klinsmann. He's faced with this blonde hair. Then going back to the goal against Tacconi. Just I don't think you can even explain that's just anti-physics. I mean, it's he just broke all the rules of physics. It's because when you watch it, it seems easy, but I mean, to get that trajectory, I think it's I don't even know.
I didn't see, and maybe there is, and I mean, maybe expertise is not that big, but I didn't see anything like that again. Like if you try maybe from further for sure, but with some different trajectories or stuff. But like in that way, I didn't see anything like that.
And also because Paolo, just try to think. I don't know exactly the data there, but the ball is probably heavier than nowadays ball. It's more difficult to hit it, to kick it on the right point. The same, the boots are different; they are heavier. The pitch was really heavy
conditions.
as well. Yes, so it's. And from the sidey area, you don't basically see the door because and from there you expect that he goes on the second, on the right side of the goalkeeper, and he's just. I think he got basically Tacconi saying, "You're not gonna score to me today," because that's one of the episodes that happened during the game, and I don't know. I'm gonna run up. I'm gonna upgrade the Zoom time, but I have like feelings that is like, okay, you don't think I will score against you. I'm gonna do that in a way that no one is gonna forget. It's basically the same that going back to the World Cup, actually going forward to the World Cup, Argentina, England, it's the same stuff that happened there. I mean, the goalkeeper, it's famous. The one of the Dios, it's just famous because of the end of God. Without Maradona, it would not even be famous. And he's actually complaining nowadays, saying he never apologized to me. I'm like, dude, you became famous thanks to that end of God.
People knows you. People know you because of that.
Well, actually, it's interesting. Paul Gascoigne just said in these days, it's like, hey, just basically kind of, hey, you should shut up. You should be thankful, because you're famous thanks to that. And it's funny because.
Well, guys, I just hope Peter Shilton, who's the goalkeeper in question, is not going to be watching this video because, he might be a little bit upset. I mean, he was enough famous on this.
But then what happened?
He's like the second, probably second or even the first most capped goalkeeper in the history of England.
But true. But Matteo, let me tell you. Let me ask. If I
let me talk you about Eclipse.
No, like the goalkeeper of Brazil of that year. Would you have that in mind like that, or like of Italy? I mean, they are all famous people. They are all big names. They are in the World Cup. I know they are known. But nowadays, after so many years, are they still remembered to be part of the Mexico '86? That's the question.
I can't remember. I can't even remember who was the goalkeeper of Italy.
Maybe it's
most likely it's off.
Likely
it was Zoff.
Oh, probably.
That was the last World Cup for Zoff.
I think so, but that's the point. That's where I'm making my point is there. I remember the name of the goalkeeper of England thanks to Maradona, thanks to the end of gods, thanks to the century, the goal of the century, on the last century. That's why I remember the goalkeeper. So why are you complaining? Everyone remembers you. So
maybe in England they remember also for something else, but I say worldwide, if someone knows the goalkeeper from England, it's most likely for that episode.
Yeah,
funny guys, because we're talking about, we're mentioning names that we were lucky enough, again, and that means that we are quite aged or old to witness with our eyes. But for some people, maybe those names that we're just throwing out will make no sense unless you're a very hardcore football fan. Speaking of memories, I'm gonna ask you guys, do you have a personal memory of Maradona from those days?
I have plenty.
I have just one because I was really young and I was still trying to decide which way to go, if to support my local team or to support the old lady, and that's how it ended up. But I have a really bad memory about Maradona against Pescara. I mean, bad for what happened to Pescara, because they actually, when they came to play in Pescara, it was a 0-0. But I remember the whole cheering stuff because Maradona was coming to Pescara. But then I remember also the first leg of that of that match where Pescara was defeated with a shameful 8-2 against
Wow.
yeah, and Maradona was like the one of the top player together with Carneval as well. Then he came to play for Pescara some year later. But I do remember that like one of the first huge disappointments in football in my life, I'd say.
So there is when you understood I need to be a Juventus supporter.
Yeah, and then he came
Thanks you,
other
Maradona.
shapes.
No.
So basically, I became a Juventino because of that. No. But again, that was one of the memory that I have with Maradona. Then also, of course, as a Juventus supporter, but then after a while he left. So,
For that.
but for sure, it's more. What I share personally is for sure something that is not comparable to who lived the legend in the first person. So I'm like one of the guys that saw him playing.
In that way. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a lot of memories. I mean, well, the biggest memory is probably the Italian Super Cup final, 1990, I think. Sure it is. The end of August, probably the first September. I don't remember the day exactly, but what I remember is this crazy jersey Napoli had. It's well with the Scudetto, but it's basically the jersey with the white kind of strips, kind of weird design. It's Mars design, and I remember Napoli bought this young player, Andrea Silenzi, and one knows him, and it's like, who is this guy? And then his fourth official basically game is against Juventus in the Super Cup, and dude, you won many times against us, but you never hammered us the way we hammered you guys in the 90s. We won 5-1. Roberto Baggio scored for Juventus, but then you had 2 goals by Silenzi. Well, I remember Careca. Then Napoli had Crippa. Maradona didn't score, but he made a couple of assists. And yeah, what I remember really clearly about Juventus is Julio Cesar. Player. I remember him, and but I remember that day. It's incredible that night because I'm with my father. I went to Stadio San Paolo di Napoli, and yeah, dude. I mean, winning against Juventus. I mean, it's 5 goal and win the cup. In a way, if you think like nowadays the Super Cup and Italy Cup that we won against Juventus is they're really fought games. It's we won at the penalties or 1-0. It's completely different.
So always a big clash, I'd say.
There, yeah, well, that was an incredible
That
memory.
was a really sad year for Juventus because in the 90s, in 1990, also they say they've been defeated by Pescara itself for the same score when they came to Pescara. Yeah, it was the 30th of May of 1990. Like it's a date which is red on the calendar here in Abruzzo. Pescara was already relegated, but they were fighting Juventus was fighting for
the honor.
Whatever.
Yeah, for the honor, and then happened what happened. Bad year.
Yeah, and that's probably the only time I actually saw Maradona playing live. That I remember. I was 8 years old. I went to the stadium many times before, but I honestly don't remember them. I remember some episodes going to pre-season trainings. I have a lot of pictures. Well, I share some of the pictures with you, Matteo, lately.
Oh, yeah.
And with the whole family, we went to see the pre-season of Napoli, or we went when Napoli was coming to play against Verona. We went to the hotels. And once actually, there's this funny episode. We were going to Napoli on holiday, and we actually met Maradona in Autogrill. We have the pictures as well, and that was just out of
No.
luck, you know. It's just out of luck, but yeah, I have it's a nice memory. But the nicest memory I have is my father coming back from home, and it's my birthday, is the 3rd of January, and basically I'm taking, I'm collecting all the Panini stickers, and of course you miss Maradona sticker. So my dad came with just a stock basically of little packages with all the stickers, and it's something like this. They're all there, and then I turned the package, and there is a Maradona Panini picture, on top of it, and that's a memory that it's basically connected to my father, to my childhood, and to all the moments when we won the first Scudetto, when we went out for dinner all together, talking about Napoli. It was all these family memories, just like Maradona is just not a football player for Napoli. When I heard the news, for me was like a piece of Napoli passed away.
Well, when it comes to my personal memories of Maradona, I wasn't lucky enough to see him playing live, but I was starting to follow football right in those years when he was peaking. And for me, as an AC Milan supporter, Maradona was sort of the nemesis. He was the enemy because Napoli was AC Milan's main rival back in those days. They shared the Scudettos. Napoli won 2, Milan won 1 towards the end of the 80s decade. So that what Maradona was to me. He was the biggest nemesis we could have in those days. And one of the first memories that I have is a Napoli AC Milan game in the 1988-89 league. Milan were the incumbent Italian champion, and they came to play to Napoli. It was match day 3 or 4. So I was so excited, that we were going to trash them basically and continuing on the way of another Scudetto, and we lost 4-1. It was a total hammering. That was my introduction to Maradona, and it was not a nice one, of course, but I can say honestly that I couldn't have asked for a better rival, for a better nemesis back in the days. We were being beaten by the greatest of all. So that's my.
It had like a sort of baptism as I had with Pescara instead of Juventus.
Yeah, and it was the same season actually, right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. But yeah, there is to say that Napoli back in time had, well, of course, Maradona. You have fantastic players, but you also have like Ferrara, Francini, Alemão, Careca. You have De Napoli. You have so many. The Napoli then went to AC Milan. I remember, and so you had so many nice and important players, like intelligent players on the pitch. Luca Fusi. I don't know. I think there is also. I'm not sure if that's the year, but luckily Massimo Mauro that then is also playing for Napoli. Then of course Carnevale, Careca. It's a lot of people that went to the national team playing for Italy or Brazil or of course Argentina. Yeah, that's good memory. That's a really good memory. That's impressive memory for a Napoli supporter, I would say.
Totally. Yeah. And guys, I want to leave us with a quote that comes from Arrigo Sacchi, who was the AC Milan coach back in the days. And he says something like, about their rivalry. He said, we are a star-studded squad. We had a lot of players who could make the difference as a whole. But the problem with Maradona is that he could change a game by himself. So we might be playing better, we might be winning the game, but with one single touch of the ball, he could completely change the course of a game. And that's exactly what it is. That's the real essence of Maradona, Diego Armando Maradona.
Yeah.
what we wanted to do today, guys, was not a tribute, was not talking about the man, the football player, because there's a lot that has been discussed in these past days. This was just our personal memories, our sort of way to say thank you to a player that really made our early football days better. And that's what we try to do. So thank you, guys. Thanks, Paolo. Thanks, Diego, for joining us
Thank
today.
you, Matteo.
Thank you, Matteo.
Guys, we're gonna see each other on this podcast pretty soon. If you like what you're hearing today, please support us a little bit. Click on the like button. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Cult of Cultures YouTube channel, so you can always be up to date with what's cool, what's nice, what's interesting in the world of Italian football. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy the Serie A games this afternoon, and we'll be seeing each other again soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Ciao.